Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, thanks so much for checking it out. If you know me from Instagram, I go by Lauren Roy Nasty. Over here on YouTube, I'm just Lauren Roy. I am a little sick, so please pardon mispronunciations. I talk about it in other videos, but I think that you know what I'm talking about. When I say, when you get sick and your nose is stuffy, it's like so much harder to pronounce words. I don't know what that's about. Probably just because you can't breathe, so your words don't come out as good, because you don't have enough air behind them. You could tell by the title today that we're going to be talking about MLMs. And if you know what MLMs are, cool. If you've ever been in one, cool. I would love to know your experience, if you're still in it, if you're not, why you left, why you stay, why you joined. I would love to know, or if you're considering joining an MLM. So I think first off we should start by defining MLM, and I do have my laptop here, so in case I look over here, it's just because I have some tabs open and some notes that I want to hit. So to start off, an MLM is a multi-level marketing business model. So what does that mean? And I'm just reading this off of Wikipedia, and this is, good enough for me. I'm fine with using Wikipedia as a source. I'm not in college anymore, so it doesn't matter to me. Multi-level marketing, also called pyramid selling, network marketing, and referral marketing, is a marketing strategy for the sale of products or services where the revenue of the MLM company is derived from non-salaried workforce, selling the company's products or services, while the earnings of the participants are derived from a pyramid-shaped or binary compensation commission system. Oh my god, it's gonna be so hard to read and talk while I'm sick. I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, I do know why. I want to pre-film. You might have heard a similar word a couple of different times, like pyramid selling and pyramid-shaped or binary compensation commission system. So I hope you see where I'm going here with this pyramid idea. Nothing like a pyramid scheme, one would say, if they worked at an MLM. So the origin of multi-level marketing is often disputed, but multi-level marketing style businesses existed in the 1920s, 1930s, and so on and so forth. They started in the 1920s. One of the examples they give as an MLM is the California Vitamin Company from the 1930s. It was later called Nutrilite. I've heard of that. That somewhat brings me to what I wanted to talk about, which is a company's products that I am currently wearing some of them on my face, and that company is Airbon. And so the reason I wanted to talk about Airbon is because, of course, I was, trying out these products. Airbon's, claim of how they began was a Norwegian man named, I don't exactly know how to say it, I am a Norwegian, Heia Norge, an American, just of Norwegian descent. So it would be Mook, Petter Mook? I don't know. Let's look it up.
Milk.
I want my great-great-grandchildren to know what I stood for through Airbon. I doubt that Peter said that. I highly doubt it. Especially because when you look up Peter, you find nothing about him except for Airbon websites. Where did this guy go? Who is Peter? Is this just a typical picture of a couple of people with a lady in a boonad? They just decided to say it was a nice Norwegian family that began Airbon? Yeah, so apparently he's the founder. Told his wife about his desire to make a different kind of skincare line. Before, green was the marketing phenomenon it is today, Peter was green. Kitchen table conversations led to ideas overflowing on graph paper. Eventually, Peter refined his ideas into a set of guiding principles for his life's work. And then they list those principles sick, cool, love, company set of values. Other than that, you don't get a whole lot of history, and it's kind of funny that it started off with this Scandinavian guy, because Airbon is only operated in 7 countries, and none of them are in Scandinavia. So Airbon is only operated in 7 countries, which are Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Poland, Taiwan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. I just find it interesting that where the company apparently started, it's not sold anymore. I know that can happen, but I feel like when a brand is super into its history and its founding person and founding values, they usually stick around in that country, or they just expand to others, but keep a headquarters in that country. But, you know, it's not sold anywhere in Scandinavia, so that's interesting. And that's not to say that in Scandinavian countries there are no MLMs. We just read that NutraWay one is, you know, in Norway, Denmark, and Finland, I think. So there's a little history of Airbon itself. And I'm not trying to hate on Airbon. It's just the one that I'm wearing on my face, and I reviewed some of the products, so I am focused on it. We're going to talk about MLMs kind of as a whole. Another thing I looked up quickly after thinking about what I wanted to talk about with Airbon specifically was their Glassdoor ratings. If you're not familiar with Glassdoor, it is a website that a lot of employees and employers use to get an idea of what it's like to work at that company. And something that really bugged me about Airbon itself and its Glassdoor ratings is that there's so many separate entities of Airbon that get different reviews. A lot of companies, you know, there'll be like 1 or 2 listings for the company, and like employees will go there either after they leave or even during. You're allowed to post whenever you want. It's anonymous, so you know, you could say whatever. It's got Airbon International reviews, working at Airbon International, Airbon International consultant reviews, Airbon International work from home reviews, Airbon International Independent Consultant. Like, that's so many different listings that people are able to go under and, like, rate the company. So it just really splits everything up, and there's no, like, clear, like definitive, like, way to rate Airbon and working at Airbon, working with Airbon. It doesn't matter so much to me because there's still a decent amount of reviews, and most of them aren't that great. So the first one I read, it has a 3.1 out of 5 stars with 260 reviews. The other one is a 2.8 out of 5 stars with 210 reviews. The next one is a 3.9 out of 5 with 60 reviews. Another one is a 3.2 with 257 reviews. Oh no, this was the highest one. It was a 4.6 out of 5 stars with 47 reviews. So that one has the least amount of reviews, and it is the highest rated. So, you know, just makes me think that maybe Airbon saw that they weren't doing so great on, you know, their Glassdoor rating, so maybe they just made a new Airbon thing so they could be like, look at us, we're so great. 100% of the people approve of the CEO in this. That I find surprising. There's little things that set you off that make you think that maybe these aren't great. And there's something really scripted about all of the 5-star reviews. Every single 5-star review I've read, even in the other, you know, postings for the Glassdoor rating, the beginning of every single sentence is exactly the same. It says, I have been working at Airbon International for more than blank years. Every single review starts off with that phrase. That's the very first thing. And it doesn't differ. It doesn't say, I've been working at Airbon Consulting for more than 10 years. I've worked, like, even, like, abbreviating it, instead of I have, like, that doesn't change at all. It's always the same exact phrasing, and just the number of years changes. And it's just kind of weird. Someone's review on that one that's 4.6 stars out of 5 with the 47 reviews, someone did do a 1-star review. It says, expensive and unreachable goals. Someone else said toxic leadership. Someone just wrote pyramid scheme. Scam artists recruiting other scam artists. That was the review that I was looking for. You see a lot of instances of people like going bankrupt. That Lululemon, was that it? No, not Lululemon. LaLaRue leggings? Was that a thing? That was a big like pyramid scheme. LuLaRue leggings. I have found what I believe to be better values in Airbon than in other MLMs.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
You know, they have a pretty good return and exchange policy for their independent consultants. They are able to swap in new product. I'm assuming if their product gets too old, especially when you're working in something like skincare, nutrition, hair care, stuff like that, beauty products expire. If you're having a lot of trouble selling, I'm assuming, I only read what they have on the website, and I'm assuming they follow their policy of being able to swap out products anytime of equal value. I think that it would be a little bit better. I've known some people that have sold Airbon for years and really, really enjoyed it. A family friend of ours sold Airbon, and I was 18 at the time, and I wanted to make some money, like on the side kind of quickly. And like, I had no money to invest in Airbon. My mom told this lady who's our family friend, and she was like, oh, she should like sell for Airbon. And my mom was like, yeah, that's a good idea. You know, it's a good way to make some cash kind of quickly. And so at this barbecue we were having, she brought some samples of stuff. And she gave it to me and she was like, you know, keep whatever you want, just try it. This is like one of the PR kind of kits, like something like that. I don't remember what she said. I tried some of the stuff and I didn't love it. I think that's a big part of the MLM is that like, you never know what you're gonna get with the products. I guess I'll leave it there on Airbon. I want to talk about something that is called the Direct Selling Association. So when I looked at Airbon, I wanted to figure out what kind of regulations they go by and other MLMs. Like, what are the standards that they are held to, you know, to make sure that they're not breaking the law, that they're not going into pyramid scheme territory, and that they're staying in MLM. I found something on the bottom of their website about the DSA and their code of ethics. I wanted to look at what the DSA was because it sounded pretty legit. And so the DSA has a .org website, but I want to remind you that .org doesn't really mean a whole lot. Anyone could buy a domain. .gov is one of the things that I always trust, or .edu if it's a university that I really trust. So even though they have a .org URL, I wouldn't jump to conclusions about how legit they are. So, from Wikipedia. The DSA, or the Direct Selling Association, is the name of several similar trade associations in the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and New Zealand that represent direct selling companies, primarily those that use multi-level marketing compensation plans. So, like we were talking about before, Airbon, LuLaRoe, other stuff like that. doTERRA, the essential oil one. On behalf of its members' companies, the DSA engages in public relations and lobbying efforts against regulation of the multi-level marketing industry. And it funds political candidates through a political action committee. Sick, we love that. We love people that lobby against the rights and clarity for consumers. So its headquarters is in Washington, D.C., and it's the National Trade Association of a group of firms that manufacture and distribute goods and services sold directly to consumers, typically through multi-level marketing. Political lobbying. So the DSA serves as a public relations and lobbying group acting on behalf of its member companies. The DSA played a role in petitioning the Federal Trade Commission. You probably hear it a lot, the FTC. It's a common thing that comes up, you know, about like censoring. Petitioning the FTC to exempt multi-level marketing companies from consumer protection regulations outlined in the FTC's 2006 proposed business opportunity rule. The law was passed in 2012, with most multi-level companies being considered exempt. Oh my God. I hope you understood what I meant. So I'm going to break that down a little bit. I think you got it. But, the DSA, the Direct Selling Association, lobbied against the FTC's rule that they were going to put into place that was passed in 2012 that was protections for consumers. It was a rule that was going to protect you, me, people that consume goods, and even, you know, the low-level people at these MLMs. Like, they are consumers as well. They lobbied against it, and when the law passed in 2012, most of the companies that are, you know, under the DSA, they were considered exempt from this consumer protection rule. So, we already see that Airbon, some other companies that are involved in DSA, already are exempt from rules that protect consumers. So that's not great. This one I'm gonna get my laptop right up in my face. Other than that, in 2018, there was a piece of legislation drafted, and it's alleged that the DSA had a big part in drafting and, you know, the language of this, and it was called the Anti-Pyramid Promotional Scheme Act. And the amendment would have
disbarred the Treasury Department, the Judiciary Department, the Small Business Administration, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the FTC, or any other agencies from using any monies to take enforcement actions against pyramid operations for the fiscal year. The act would blur the lines between legitimate MLM activity and pyramid schemes established under the 1979 FTC case by deeming sales made to people inside the company as sales to an ultimate user, thus erasing the key distinction made in ruling between the sales to actual consumers of a product and sales made to members of the MLM network that are used for recruitment of additional members to qualify for commissions.
Let's break that down. The DSA has, you know, hands in drafting this legislative piece. So that just means, you know, no one really knows, but you can basically guess that they had a pretty heavy-handed, like, way of handling this legislation. Basically, what this legislation was trying to achieve was that all of these different measures, the Treasury Department, the Judiciary Department, the Small Business Administration, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the FTC, any other government bodies, could not use taxpayer money to take enforcement actions against pyramid schemes. It says pyramid operations, but it just means pyramid schemes. Blurring the lines between legitimate MLMs and pyramid schemes. So what that would mean is that the government would have a much harder time distinguishing what an MLM was and what a pyramid scheme was. So they wouldn't be able to take action against them because they can't say that these certain tactics are causing you to be a pyramid scheme, not a legitimate MLM. But the company could be like, oh, no, it's not. Look at this legislation that says this, this, and this. And it just kind of muddies the waters and it makes it much harder to actually take action, like they said, using any monies to take enforcement actions against pyramid operations. Like, it just makes it harder for actual governing bodies to protect consumers if this legislation had passed. No, it did not. This was introduced in 2018, and I'm assuming that, they still are trying to get some form of this legislation passed. Maybe they will one day. Hopefully not so, because we as consumers like to be protected. It is a very good thing that we have in America. I think it is underused. It would be much better if we were protected better as consumers. We'd love that. And the DSA kind of, I think, and in my opinion, this is all alleged. I'm just reading stuff off of Google and Wikipedia, so take what you want, how you want. I'm not trying to get sued. This is all my opinion and alleged. The DSA has said pyramid schemes which disguise themselves as direct selling companies have caused confusion in the industry. Oh, have they, DSA? Have they caused confusion? In 2013, Tupperware, which if you didn't know, people used to go door to door and sell Tupperware, like the containers. If you've ever seen Napoleon Dynamite, you do know about that, so good for you. Good movie. In 2013, Tupperware left the DSA citing industry changes and concerns over pyramid schemes. In 2014, Avon, a founding member, left the DSA citing that its bylaws were inadequate in protecting consumers from fraud.
News reports have connected Avon's quitting to pyramid scheme allegations against DSA member Herbalife, which was under investigation by the FTC at the time, and has now been ordered agreed to pay $200 million in a settlement. The DSA made a statement that they would look at Avon's concerns.
So that was back in 2014, and doesn't look like it's been updated since then, so cool. A little side note, a little personal history about Herbalife is that Herbalife came to my college campus in 2014. I went to school at Rutgers in New Jersey, and they pitched it to a bunch of poor college students in a freshman dorm. How classy, how nice, how protecting of consumers they are. So most of us knew it was a pyramid scheme. We basically all do. I'm pretty sure that they went into our common room. It was a living room. I don't know. It was just the common space on our dorm floor. They used a whiteboard and they were drawing out the compensation plan and how you make money. And it ended up looking like a triangle, and someone went in there and they just traced it. They just traced a line around the names, and it was just a big triangle. Our one friend, unfortunately, kind of got roped into it, and he ended up buying some of it was drinks, I think, Herbalife. Was it Herbalife? I hope so. I'll look it up. But one of our friends got into it somehow, and he was trying to sell us this Herbalife so bad. I think I even ended up buying a bottle. I'm not into sugary drinks or natural energy drinks or anything. I just drink coffee or tea. It's just, I prefer those things. I don't want anything like Herbalife in my body. I think I just got it and drank a little bit, gave the rest to my roommate. Pretty sure she spilled it out and didn't drink it. But it was just so sad. We were all don't do it, don't get into it. And I'm not going to say his name because, I hope he's okay now. Maybe he's getting money out of this lawsuit. I don't know, but Herbalife has to pay out $200 million. It's a shitload of money. Was it worth it, Herbalife? Was it? But it was just such a pyramid scheme. If those people were under the DSA, I know for a fact that the DSA is shady and that their code of ethics is a load of bullshit. So, consumer protection. Oh, what a joke. Maybe that's why I'm sick, because I keep talking shit on all these MLMs. I am having trouble on the DSA's website to locate the companies that are under them that, go by their code of ethics. But there is this thing that pops up from businesswire.com, and it's about the DSA's 2018 award winners, and they're all companies under DSA, so we'll just name a couple. Amway, which we talked about, was the parent company of Nutralife or NutraWay. Mary Kay, you probably know it as the company that gave out big pink Cadillacs. Damsel in Defense, Don't know what that is. Sensi Incorporated. La Habana. I don't know what that is, but it's in Spanish and it's got the 2 exclamation points. By Design Technologies, Paw Tree, Advocare International, Ambit Energy, Amway, Arbonne, Cutco. Cutco! That's another one! Cutco is another one that I was just always like, what the... Like, they sell you knives. And like, these people are always at like, farmers markets. My boyfriend and I are beekeepers. And we used to sell a lot of his product at like farmers markets or just, you know, flea markets, stuff like that. Like where you go on a weekend and, you know, you buy some stuff at a stand. We used to sell a lot of his bee products at these market things. And Cutco was there a lot. And I remember this one guy, Cutco sells knives. And I just felt so bad for him. Like, we talked to him for a minute. And, like, we were just trying to be nice. Like, we weren't customers. Like, he saw that we had, like, a vending station, too. And he, like, started to try to kind of... He was trying to sell us knives. And I was like, dude, we just came over here to, like, talk to you. Like, he was a younger guy selling Cutco knives. I don't know how he got roped into it. He didn't seem like the kind of person to me that would be, like, a Cutco seller. Cutco, I think they come to your house for free. Or they come to wherever... And they sharpen the knives for you for life because these knives are supposed to last you, like, for life. Like, where do you make money in that business? Like, how do you have to sell knives to everyone in the entire world to keep making profit? Like if you're in a certain area, like, you will only get to so many people before people are just like, dude, I don't want any knives. Stop trying to sell them to me. And by the way, they're like kitchen knives. They're not, like, just knives. Something else I wanted to hit on. You ever notice how, like, all of these MLMs, other than that Cutco guy that I met, basically all of the independent consultants I've ever met, ever seen, ever been contacted by on Facebook after we graduated high school 5 years ago. Thanks, by the way. Great to hear from you, too. They're always women. And I think it's interesting. I come from a place in Jersey where there were 2 forts. It was Fort Dix and Fort McGuire. And a lot of the military kids would go to my high school. One thing that I've seen a lot of other people touch on. Someone who I watch a lot is Tiffany Ferg, and she actually did a video on MLMs and I loved it, but you know, she talked about this too. MLMs a lot of times seem to target women, and especially women that are either stay-at-home moms, are unemployed at the moment for some reason, or military wives. You know, there's a lot of different reasons for this. Military wives end up a lot of times, or military husbands, but I've never been contacted by a military husband to sell me some Avon or Arbonne or Mary Kay, so, you know, there's probably a reason for that. I don't think he's in the market, and he knows I'm not either. Military wives a lot of times have to move around. Their partners will be stationed anywhere in the country, sometimes out of the country, and it's very hard for these women to, first of all, get a job. Because if someone already knows, if an employer knows that you live on a military base, they could basically assume you are married into the military and you are going to move at some point. You're not a desirable hire because you don't have great dependability, because you don't know how long you're going to be in one area. That sucks. It's not up to their control. So I get why these women are looking for alternative sources of income. It's a great way to make friends. So if you're moving from base to base all the time, you know, it's really hard to have friends and keep making new ones, and this is such an easy way to like get into a little community because you're usually like, you're hooked up with all the other independent consultants in your area. It's a great support network. You know, I get why that is a big target for these MLMs. These women that, you know, want to make money on the side, want to do something easy from home. They can do it from anywhere. They don't have to stay in one specific area. There's an opportunity for socializing and making friends, having parties, to sell your product because you bought too much, you gotta sell it. You sell stuff to your friends, you move, your friends don't like you anymore, but it's okay because you moved, so it's fine. I know that's not every instance, and I get that, you know, a lot of people might recognize that, like, idea that it's a little rude to, like, have a party and, like, invite someone over, you know, just try to sell them stuff. You know, there's that aspect of it. Single moms, or not single moms, stay-at-home moms, again, really, they are sold this kind of fantasy of you're going to be able to make money so quickly. It's just a small investment up front, super easy to make some cash on the side, bring some extra income into the household. A lot of times you see these people just putting so much money in, and they tell you like, no, just like, if you work hard, you will get out what you put in. You will. You just have to keep working. You have to keep pushing the product. You have to buy more product. You have to stay updated with the product so that you can make your customers want more. What I see happening a lot is people taking advantage of those close around them. Not taking advantage, they're basically reaching out to the ones around them, trying to get them to like help out. They're like, oh, well, I have all this product, like you could get it, and you know, we're like family, like, you know, help me out. And there's like so many different ones. Not the DSA, I'm assuming, has a lot. It's a little annoying that I can't see which ones are like under the DSA. I'm gonna look up the Glassdoor for Herbalife. I want to know about that. Not enough money in it unless you put way more time into it. Also, the work-life balance it is sold as is a bit of a cop-out. Someone wrote, stay away. Okay, I will. Don't worry. Most abusive and sexist place I've ever worked. She was a coordinator. She worked there for more than 8 years. Shit. Warning, lost in chaos. Okay, well, that's enough on the Glassdoor. So it is surprisingly more positive than I thought, but I always question reviews ever since Amazon, like, really picked it up and, like, their, you know, shit. I don't know. I feel like in the past couple of years, it's been a little iffy with reviews on things. Like, I don't trust as much as I used to. I really love reviews on products and companies and stuff, but I find myself looking for the negative. I don't find myself looking for the good things. Like, ever since Sunday Riley, that expensive skincare brand at Sephora, like, got caught faking reviews, and you see people on Amazon like review stuff and they're like, there have to be fake reviews because this is nowhere near as good as I thought it was gonna be. Like, I look for that stuff because I'm afraid of there being fake reviews all the time on everything. I wish there was more like verification you had to go through before you could like post a review to something. Because I'm a reviewer myself. I love Google Maps and I review on Google Maps all the time. They always let me know. They're like, you have like 50,000 views on your reviews on Google. Please review more. It's because I live in New York and I review things in New York. That's the only reason I get so many views on there is because, you know, it's a popular place to go. It's one of the most visited cities in the world. New York City, baby. Yeah. Oh my god, that was gross. I'm gonna cut that out. If you look at it, I think this is the end. I've talked for a little while and my throat hurts. I didn't give a whole lot of, you know, like factual information. I talked a little bit about the DSA and their shitty code of ethics. And, you know, they're just shady. They're underwriting like all of the consumer protections that like US governing bodies have in place so that, you know, pyramid schemes don't just become a normal everyday thing for us. You want to be able to trust that companies, you know, have the consumer's best interest at heart. It's just the fact that, you know, there are measures in place in the United States and a lot of different countries that protect consumers. You always want that. You want companies that fight for that. When companies lose their integrity, we should not put our money towards them anymore. I think it's been thrown around a lot, this phrase that you vote with your dollar, but you really do. If you are going to consume goods, you should consume from companies that you believe in. I really, really think that. Spend your money how you want, but it is true that companies respond to how we spend our money. Talk to the ones that you love that are maybe involved in an MLM, thinking about getting into it. That's it for now. I really gotta get off this couch, go like walk around, and these lights are super bright behind the camera. I hope I'm lit up well because I've been staring in this direction for like 40 minutes and my eyes hurt. I hope you enjoyed today's video. That's it. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you all in the next one. All right, bye.